joining us. This is Melody Loomis from Kearney Chiropractic Center, and I am here at Clear Path Advisory with Mr. Ben Offit. He is the owner of this business, correct?
Partner, yep.
Partner, and he is a financial advisor, and we are just doing another community interview with another one of our referral partners. We want to let you know who we trust and who we work with. So we want to get to know them and do a little interview here, okay? So let's get started. So speaking of trust, when it comes to finances and financial advising, trust is the foundation of a relationship with a financial advisor, right?
Sure.
So we were just, thinking a lot of people are really wary about hiring someone or talking to a financial advisor because they're scared to reveal their income or their expenses. People keep that stuff very private. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you became a financial advisor, and you can build a little bit of rapport with the viewers of this video.
Sure. I was looking for job opportunities, in this area, and wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to use my entrepreneurship degree and that kind of mindset that I had, towards something positive. Mm-hmm. The other thing for me is that I'm very motivated by helping other people. Kind of my mission is to make the world a better place. And I knew that it was important to me to have, some sort of occupation that I could live that each day. Yeah. So I didn't know how those things would come together and how those things would manifest. Mm-hmm. I was recruited out of the business school at University of Maryland by a big financial planning company. And I never suspected that I would get into this career or this business. Never even crossed my mind. But they had, reached out to me, saw my resume, and, thought I'd be a good fit. This could be an opportunity for me to, grow a business and, be in control of my freedom, my potential to earn money and, that entrepreneurial nature, which I had. And then it was also an opportunity to help other people through, money, through financial planning. And I thought that would be truly impactful if I could do a great job at that. So kind of combined those two elements. So I started there. I had a good amount of success right out of the gate. And, it seemed to be a good fit. So I stuck with it. And, I was at this larger firm for about 7 years. Mm-hmm. And then I left about 2 years ago, wanted to be more independent, and felt that, I'd gotten a great foundation, a great start where I was, but felt like I could be a better advisor for my clients and a better entrepreneur as well by being more independent. So I joined with my partner here, and we formed Clear Path Advisory, and it's an independent firm, and we still do financial planning. It's just that we don't have any parent company or parent company affiliation. So we're independent. We've got no allegiances or biases towards any specific financial companies, and that's kind of my start.
Okay, great. So this is kind of a timely time to be talking about finances because it's the turn of the year, and a lot of people make New Year's resolutions regarding their finances at the beginning of a new year. I mean, this is the time to do it. However, we're a few months into the new year, and this is also kind of the time when we all fall off the bandwagon with those resolutions. So how could talking to someone like you really help set someone up to stick to their goals and resolutions? And how do you go about holding clients accountable to their financial goals?
It's a good question. I think that, I think everybody can use some accountability and discipline and infrastructure in different aspects of their life. And I think that's a big part of what I do is to kind of be like a financial planning, coach or accountability partner. It's one thing to come up with the strategy or the plan. It's another thing to execute it and implement it. And I think, those are two important halves of the equation. So I think by having this kind of relationship with someone like me, what that inherently creates is, that that accountability partner. Mm-hmm. People are ultimately hiring me to hold them accountable, to help them take steps forward. And do what they need to do. So
you showed me that you have specific things in place for your clients, like monthly charts and checks and balances.
Absolutely.
It's not just, here's your plan, go do these things, and I don't talk to you for months. It's, you have specific things to keep people on track with their goals, correct?
That's true. Exactly. I think that I think having consistent conversation and consistent meetings, kind of forces the accountability. And what we try to do here is onboard people and get an understanding of, what's most important to them, what's on their radar, their docket, what's kind of leading them to want to talk to us. And then once we've kind of gotten over those initial most important subject matters to them, then we'll transition to more of a structured approach where we know what we'll talk about throughout the year and when. We have it on the calendar, and that allows people to have confidence and peace of mind, knowing that nothing's going to fall through the cracks,
right.
Because Ben is on it. It's making sure that we're going to keep taking the proactive steps forward, and that we're not just going to let things sit. And I think people ultimately benefit from that.
Right. So we talked about accountability and your degrees in entrepreneurship. So what kind of expertise as a financial planner do you have? What sets you apart from other financial planners that want to take our money?
I think there's a few things. Number one, I think that we have a financial planning focus. I think that there's a lot of advisors in this industry that don't necessarily have a financial planning focus. They may be financial planners or financial advisors, but they're more oriented towards insurance products, or they're more oriented towards investment products. And for us, it's an advice-centered model. It's not just about the products. It's about the relationship, the emotional well-being. It's about a financial planning relationship at its core. And I think that is different. So I think that's one differentiating factor. I think another differentiating factor is that we're independent. So we have no allegiances towards any one provider or company.
Right.
We can represent anybody and use anybody, and that allows us to be just fully on the same side of the table as the client.
So speaking of your business model, let's talk about that for a minute. People often, and myself included, when we first talk to different financial planners or financial advisors, we get really wary about, what do you get out of this? So if you recommend a product, we're assuming you're making commission off that product, whether you're independent or you're affiliated with someone. Your business model is a little bit different. So tell us about that. What's different? You don't make commission off the products.
So I do make commission off of insurance. So
Insurance,
okay.
Okay.
So I do insurance. Those are kind of my roots. That's kind of where I started in the business.
Okay.
That is a commission-based product. I believe in insurance. I think it's important to do it right, and I think there's a lot of complexity to it. And so, that is something that does pay commissions, but I'm fee-based. So what that means is that when I do financial planning for people, they'll pay a fee to do that. Clients hire us on a fee basis for advice. What that does is it puts us in a position to be a fiduciary, and where by law we have to operate in their best interest. And that allows us to be, full service and fully comprehensive to people, and not just look at one element of their planning, but the whole picture.
So fee-based, that might be a new concept to
Sure.
some of our viewers, right? I know it was new to me when I first heard about it. I
Yeah.
just assumed everybody made commission off the products they sold. So let's talk about the fee. Can you share with us what an average fee would be for a client, and then what's that value-added benefit to having, you kind of touched on this. What's the value-added benefit to paying that fee versus having a commission-based financial advisor?
I think the value is that your advisor is working for you because they're being paid, primarily just to give advice. That's how
Right.
they're being compensated. I think that if someone is not charging a fee for advice or planning, they need to ask yourself, well, how are they being paid? An analogy that I often make is, imagine, I was a doctor and I didn't charge to see my patients. Well, but every time my clients come in, let's imagine that I just prescribed different forms of medication every time they came in. And then you say, well, he's actually sponsored by a pharmaceutical drug company.
Right.
So that's how he's making his money, is through the prescription of medications. So when you're actually paying the doctor, and you're
Right.
paying for that visit, and you're paying for that advice, then you're paying the doctor for that relationship and that
Right.
service.
Right.
Exactly. So if you're paying a planner a fee, then it's a professional service model. it's very similar to going to an accountant or a lawyer or someone else that's providing a service,
Right.
not just trying to not charge anything and then get paid on, some sort of commission basis.
Right.
And so that's definitely an evolution of the industry. And I think, it's evolving primarily, from a product-centered environment, a product-centered landscape into an advice-centered landscape. And I think that's good for clients, and we're trying to be in alignment with that.
Right. And clients will know you have their best interest in mind, and you're going to do the most with their money.
Absolutely.
So what's an average fee?
Oh.
Is there a range?
It's a good question. So when I do fee-based financial planning with people, I have different tiered service models. So it's almost like different levels of a relationship, different levels of a membership, so to speak. And we have an economy package, we have a plus package, a premium package, and then an enterprise package.
Okay.
And it really depends on the complexity of what someone has going on. For example, someone that is just kind of getting started and trying to get their feet planted with financial planning and kind of learn the ins and outs and the basics of it, it's going to be very different than someone who is a very successful business owner and maybe has multiple businesses and has multiple real estate properties and complex issues.
Right.
So we try to guide our clients towards what would be the most appropriate kind of relationship, how often we should talk, how often we should meet, what subject matter we'll get into with our clients.
Right.
But I would say, typically we have a retainer fee of $1,500 a year for at least everybody, and that pays us to have ongoing support and relationship and monitoring and counseling with our clients. But then we also typically have an onboarding fee because a lot of the work is done up front. That might range from $500 to $5,000.
So do you have an ideal client that you like to work with?
Yeah, I would say my ideal client would be an entrepreneur or a business owner between the ages of 30 and 45 that has a business with revenues of $1 million and above. Now that's my ideal client. That's my target client. Not every client fits a demographic. Some clients are not business owners or entrepreneurs. Some clients are older than 45.
Right.
Some clients are younger than 30 years old. But if you were to look at like a sweet spot, like a scatter plot of my clients, they'd kind of fit in that range for the most part.
Right, and that allows you to give the best advice, by having that target, because then from experience what works and what doesn't work.
That's right.
Right, in those areas. So it's always good to, have like a specialty.
And it's also similar to myself, right? So I'm 30 years old,
Right.
and I'm also a business owner.
Right.
So I can relate to that demographic because I'm in that too.
Right.
So it's very close to what I'm doing myself personally as well.
Right. So just to wrap it up, in chiropractic, we look at a person's overall health and well-being and not just the problem area that they come in with, because we want to make sure that we're looking at the whole body and how that area of complaint.
Absolutely.
We can administer healing to the whole body because we work with the nervous system, which stems from the brain down through the spinal cord, right? And so that's what chiropractic addresses. So when we're talking about finances too, we like this business model a lot because it's very similar to chiropractic in that it doesn't just address one area of the finances. It doesn't just address your retirement fund or getting out of debt. You're looking at your overall financial health. So if you think about it like the grand package, it's very similar to chiropractic. So if people watching this video are a believer in chiropractic and they know why they love chiropractic, because it's not just about getting out of pain, and it's not just about covering up the symptoms of the problem. It's about getting to the root cause of the problem. So if someone were coming in here swimming in debt, and saying, I need to focus on this, you're not just going to focus on that. You're going to look at their overall financial health and you're going to get to the root cause of the problem, help them get out of debt, and then build financial success for the future. And I really like that. I once heard a quote that said, like, your best source of wealth is your own income. It's not winning the lottery. It's not inheriting it. It's not just getting rich quick. Your best source of building wealth is your own income. And that is what you're all about. That's what you're here to do. Help people build wealth and build their futures by getting, rooting out any problems in their financial health and administering like overall healing to it, and moving forward. Does that sound about right?
100%. I think that was well said. I think that a lot of what we do is very akin to being a doctor, and that, if you go in to see your doctor and you say, I'm having, pain in some area of my body, well, there could be many different reasons why you're having pain. So I think that if you try to look at things from a whole picture and try to get to that root of what it is, everything's kind of interconnected.
Right.
So if you're only focusing, in one aspect, then you might miss what it is.
Right.
If you go to see your doctor and your doctor only looks at you from, your shoulders and above, well, then maybe they're missing, what's going on in the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So our job is to kind of be like that doctor and almost be, looking at the whole picture and trying to see what's healthy, what's working well, or what's unhealthy and not working well, and how do we, try to, get people to be as healthy as they possibly can be financially.
Right.
And also, I think a big part of our role is not to necessarily have the answer to everything, because we don't. Just like in medicine, there are thousands of things that could be going on. There's so many different areas of expertise, but I view my role as to be more like the librarian versus the library. And the role of the librarian is not necessarily say, I am an encyclopedia of information, I know every single thing. It's more to be saying, well, I know what to recognize and where to look.
Right.
And I know where to help you find the answers to make sure that you are healthy.
And that's great. That's great. I love that. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I would just say that I think we do a very good job here. I think we've got all the right reasons to help people and serve people proactively and effectively. And I think that if this is something that resonated in some capacity, feel free to give me a call or send me an email.
I'm going to put your office phone number and your website.
Sure.
On the screen at the end of the video, and we'll also post it below, in the comments and everything as well. So I would encourage you guys, if you watch this video and any of this resonates with you, this is the perfect time to set up a conversation, set up an appointment. It doesn't cost you anything just to have a conversation and see if you would be a good fit. And this might be a really good fit for you. So I think Ben would be a great partner to help hold you accountable to your financial goals and really reach those goals and remove any pitfalls that you have in your financial health. Don't hesitate. We want to be completely transparent here, and we want everybody to be healthy in all aspects of life. And one of the major stressors for people in life is finances. And if you can't get through those stresses, and get to a healthy, solid foundation, you're just going to be stuck. So we just wanted to share that with you. Ben is someone that we refer to and we really trust, and he's right here in Baltimore, right here in Pikesville, and he'd be happy to talk with you. So thanks for joining us and watching, and feel free to leave your comments below.